going to go ahead and press record on this guy. Okay.
That's my downfall, making sure the record light is actually on.
Yes, exactly. So stop recording to do that and then pause. Okay, awesome. I think we're going good. So, well, hi again. So let's just go ahead and start, Bethel, and we'll just kind of go from there. And I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay, let me grab a charger real quick so I don't die.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, don't die on me.
Some things that just suck battery faster than.
I know.
Okay.
Okie dokie rokie. I'm really glad to be still doing this with you, Bethel, even though we've had some
Right, we can still get it
difficulties, but you know what? We're learning. We're learning. It's gonna be great. So, and hopefully somebody can learn something useful with this.
Hopefully.
Yes. All right, are you good to go?
I am good to go.
Perfect. So let's get this party rolling. We are Sharon Mooney with Faith, Finance, and Health Wealth Management, and Bethel Wagner with.
I am with Vivace Health Coaching.
Perfect. As a musician, I really like the name Vivace.
Yes, that's where it came from.
Perfect. I love it. All right. We're going to talk about investing in your health to put money in your bank. So, super exciting topic because we all want more money in our bank. At least I do. I always need more money in my bank, especially for kids. They're expensive.
Absolutely. So,
right,
I am Bethel. I am a health coach, and I help exhausted moms with hypothyroidism to increase their energy, boost their mood, and release weight so they can zoom through their days with energy to spare, because who doesn't want more energy, right?
I want more energy. I do. So awesome. Yay, anything else in there you want to add, Bethel?
You know, I think maybe we'll kind of get into more things as we go through. I guess I would just say that the reason that's kind of my mission and what I've chosen to do is because I used to be that tired mom, wiped out on the couch, not able to get up and do anything. Yeah. And also had points where I was so exhausted and crabby that I just kind of didn't even really like myself anymore. But I'm on the other side of that now, and I just want all those other exhausted mamas out there to know that there is hope. So that's what I do and why.
Awesome. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. We always need, it's always fun to hear other people's stories, like that you can be like, oh, you were there, you know what that's like. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that connection is so vital. So, well, I'm Sharon, and I help parents and entrepreneurs avoid financial mistakes. We educate people on how to make their money work smarter and not harder, as well as the different vehicles to protect and grow wealth. And we all want to leave a legacy, but I also want to leave a legacy financially for my family. So I just work with just a lot of different people from all sorts of walks of life. And I've really got a heart for entrepreneurs because as entrepreneurs, we, there's a lot of financial angst with owning a business. And so I really try to help entrepreneurs understand how to make their money work for them instead of them working for their money. So Yeah, anyway, that's me. And I just wanted to walk through a few things. Whenever we're talking about investing in our health to put money in the bank, I want us to look at the cost of poor health, okay? And so we're going to look at the average annual cost for someone with high blood pressure and the annual cost for someone with diabetes. Neither of these are a, a not normal scenario. They're very common in our health society right now. I've dealt with high blood pressure. I struggled with it for a couple of years after I had my youngest son. And the average cost, including doctor visits, copays, prescriptions, all of that, I had all of that. For that was about $2,300 a year is what I paid for all of the things that entails someone with high blood pressure, the treatments for that. For someone with diabetes, which is actually kind of getting up there with heart disease as well, diabetes is. My grandpa actually lost both of his legs because of diabetes, is almost $8,000 a year with those prescriptions. And so, you know, when you think about cold, hard numbers like this, there is a high cost for not taking care of our bodies and for not taking care of our health. And so this just kind of gives you an idea. Of course, there's other things out there, you know, heart disease and different things like that. Usually, you know, people have between 2 and 5 medications that they take on a daily basis. So all of that adds up and can keep you from not only living your best life, but also keep you from using that money into better resources to give you a bigger life of choices. So, yeah. All right. So, shock emoji. So there we go. Anything that you wanted to add to that, Bethel?
I think I would just add that so many of those things that you mentioned, the blood pressure and the diabetes and all these different things, most of them really are preventable conditions, which we don't always like to hear.
Yeah.
But they are things that we can reverse, things that we can take action on, and we're not doomed to get those conditions. Like, we can reverse them in a very large number of instances. So yeah, I guess that just encourages us to take some responsibility and not have a victim mindset of, oh, it was just my genes, I couldn't help it. Like, there's something you can do to avoid that cost. So
I did. I got on a nutrition program last year or a year and a half ago, and completely was able to drop my blood pressure medication. And so I no longer have that problem with high blood pressure. And so
awesome.
Yeah, I am walking proof that it is reversible for sure. So, all right, let's talk about medical and prescription drug coverages. So statistics show in this article in Health Affairs that I read that actually the medical care and prescription drug coverage is growing faster than our income. Healthcare costs are rising dramatically, and our income and inflation cannot keep up with that cost. So that's really shocking. It's not really shocking, but it's something to think about. Whenever we're looking at our health and our finances, is that with those rising healthcare costs, we need to kind of do something about that and kind of keep that in our brains, as well as life insurance premiums, especially in this post-COVID world. They're actually being rated stronger, and I know this firsthand because I am in life insurance, and that's what I do. So they're actually cracking down on ratings and things, even for just like anxiety medication, like we're having to disclose that, and that could actually rate you. Um, so it's something to think about. We really have to be having these thoughts and thinking about this and having these conversations when we're talking about our finances and our health. So, all right. So next we're going to talk about kind of our culture of, the choices that we make. And you have a drink here. It's not, I love to have a beer. I can't have it very often because it messes with my stomach, but and who doesn't love a greasy burger with fries? But when we talk about the ramifications of this sort of lifestyle, and then the dependency on prescription medications that our culture has in America, really, we've got to also talk about mental health and having this up and down fluctuation of weight and our body image, and our that has a bearing on our mental health as well, right? So not that these are really bad things, it's just a matter of the choices that we make in our lifestyle and our nutrition and health and all of that. So what do you have to say about that, Bethel?
Well, you're absolutely right on that. And there are so many connections. I mean, like you said, having an occasional drink or the occasional French fries, whatever is okay. Just kind of keeping in mind that like 80-20 rule, be really good 80% of the time. And then that last 10 or 20%, it's okay to do those things as long as the good outweighs the bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about suffering or denying yourself all fun things,
Mm-hmm.
but just being really intentional and conscious about it.
Yeah.
But then also just being aware, kind of going back to the mental health, that if you flip that around and if it's always the greasy burgers and the fries and the stress and whatever else, that is a huge factor of why our mental health is so miserable. I've seen it over and over again. Somebody changes the way they eat and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can think clearly. I feel like myself again. My mood is good. So yeah, simple lifestyle choices that we don't even think about most of the time can be what's actually causing a lot of our problems. So just becoming aware and being intentional can make a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. Mindset's huge when it comes to not only our health, but our finances. I mean, we can kind of talk about the 80-20 rule with our finances too, right? We can also, talk about that, you can be really good and stay on budget 80% of the time. And then, that skiing trip, where you can go and everybody have fun for the day on the mountain and eat at the lodge and get the hot chocolate, and then and do all of that. So there's balance. There's that balance. You can have a life of choices with your health and your finances, and I think that's really important to remember. So awesome. Okay, so we're here in this society where we're dependent on prescription medications. Our health is really out of control. So are we just going to keep on this crazy cycle, or are we going to figure out how to change our patterns and habits? And Bethel has some amazing information to tell us about that.
I like the emoji.
I know. What are we going to do?
So I was just going to share a few things that might be signs that it's time to pay a little more attention to your health. And I just want to start this off by saying, listen early on if at all possible. Our body might just give us a little tap on the shoulder or kind of a small whisper. And if we pay attention at that point and are proactive, we can save ourselves so much time and energy and money and heartache. But most of us, unfortunately, and I've done this myself as well, wait until our body is like yelling or screaming at us and we just have no choice. At which point, like, we're kind of stuck. We're going to have a major bill to pay probably at the end of
Right.
that. So just a few things to be aware of, and listen to your body. So number one is just if your energy is low all the time. It's normal to be tired every once in a while if you've had an especially long day or something, but if you are constantly tired, that's not something you should ignore. Unexplained weight gain, you're like, I haven't changed the way I eat, but suddenly I put on 10 pounds. I don't know what happened. Or you're like, I've done everything I can think of to get rid of this weight and it won't move. Even just like stiffness, tenderness, joint pain. I always kind of laugh when people are like, oh, wait till you're 40. You're going to start feeling it. I'm like, I'm just not sure I buy that, actually.
Yeah.
Might just be your body saying, you kind of abused me for the last 20 years. Would you please be kinder to me?
Right.
Any kind of digestive issues. I mean, so many people rely on Tums or antacids or different things. And, that's just what you do. If you need those things, don't ignore it. It's just your body saying, please feed me something different. That's all.
Yeah.
Skin issues, rosacea, rashes, itchiness. If you have chronic itching, anything of that nature, that's your body saying, hey, I can't get rid of something. Pay attention. Even if you just have like a chronic stuffy nose or sinuses, that can be another sign that something's not sitting right. Another big one, especially for a lot of women, is just difficulty thinking and remembering and focusing. It's that term brain fog, where you feel like you're just in this wet paper bag and you can't get out. Like, I should be able to add 5 + 5, but I just cannot come up with the answer. And then, moodiness, anxiety, depression, just that feeling of constant overwhelm. Any of those things are signs that you need to slow down and pay attention. And then, things like PMS, hormonal imbalances. As women, we always hear that, like, oh, it's just your hormones, or that's a lady's problem. Like, we don't have to accept that. We don't have to deal with horrible cycles or deal with huge mood swings or irritability. Like, that's not the way we were designed to work. So if you're dealing with that, then let's get to the root of it and let's solve the problem. So those are all things to just kind of be aware of. Yeah. Awesome. So we can go to the next slide there.
I love that.
So if we're noticing any of those things, or maybe we don't, but we want to maintain our good health, there are so many things we can do that are absolutely free. They do not cost us a penny, and they are so simple to do.
I always say free is my favorite 4-letter word.
Absolutely. Number one is just drink more water. I mean, seriously, it's so many people, it's like they go get a latte or something, or they are drinking coffee from sun up to sundown, or like need the coffee mid-afternoon to keep from falling asleep. If you start replacing, just like replace 1 cup of coffee with a glass of water and just gradually add a little more water each week, you might be surprised how much better you feel. Better energy, your skin will be better, just everything's better when we're hydrated.
Right.
And
I will say, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, just secret tip, drinking lots of water is one of the top keys to weight loss. So
yes,
one to keep in mind.
True. And I will say, I was kind of one of those that did not drink a lot of water because I didn't realize that I liked ice cold water. So even how it gets out of the fridge and it's chilled, that's not cold enough for me. Like, I will drink gallons and gallons of water as long as it is iced down. So I figure that out. And so now I take a Yeti to eat out and working and wherever I am that's full of ice. And then I just keep on putting water into it. And it keeps my water intake, going, but it also, it's cold, and I like to drink cold water. So it took years to figure that out. So if you're one of those that, just doesn't like water, kind of experiment with it and figure out, how do you like it? Do you like it room temperature? Do you like it ice cold? Do you like it somewhere in between? What do you like?
Right. And some people just want flavor. They just
Yeah,
need some lemon or
little
lime or
something.
something.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
something fun. They
lemon
need a
water,
cute cup
cucumber
with a
water.
fun straw.
Yeah, or yes, yes. Yeah, make it fun. Absolutely. Doesn't be
So then
free.
the next one is not rocket science at all
Mhm.
either. We all know this. Eat more vegetables, but it's so easy not to do.
Yeah.
It's easy to have a bowl of cereal and toast and then just have a sandwich and then have, I don't know, spaghetti and French bread and
Mm,
like hardly get any vegetables. But if you can get color into your day, fill half your plate with vegetables, that one shift will change so many things in your health. And there again, go for variety, go for color, go for different textures, make it fun, make it enjoyable. It doesn't have to be boring. Um, and that ties right in with just crowding out the packaged foods and junk foods. Um, and some of that's just the culture we live in. Like you're hungry, you stop at the gas station, there's no option but a packaged food, right? It's
right.
just everywhere. Or you have a late day of work and you're tired and don't feel like cooking, so you get something packaged. You guys,
McDonald's Happy Meals.
right? Um, yeah, so some of that comes down, you know, to planning ahead as much as you can, having healthy snacks you just carry with you for emergencies, that kind of thing. But there again, that 80-20 rule. Don't beat yourself up if it happens every once in a while. Just be intentional that it doesn't become a habit. The next one, again, is totally free and one of my absolute favorites. Just a second here.
Oh, kiddos.
Unfortunately, my office is like right next to the door.
Yeah.
Whole
Yeah.
troop. Yeah, so my next one is one of my absolute favorites is just to breathe deeply. Most of us are running around in a stress state for large chunks of our day, either because we're running late or we're worried about something, or you know, there's just always some stressor or other. And the fastest way to snap yourself out of that stress response is to just stop and breathe really deeply. And it only takes a minute or two. It's really so fast and so easy. And it can change just your whole day, your whole perspective if you will stop and do that. So that's a really huge factor, because it turns out over 90% of doctors' visits are actually related back to stress in one way or another. So if we can stop the crazy cycle of stress, that will work wonders for our health. So
Hey, getting your finances in order will reduce stress.
yes, that is one of the top stressors for sure. It absolutely
I'm free, y'all. I'm free.
Yes. So, see, Sharon, remove the financial stress in your life. The next one can be absolutely free as well. Just move your body, and it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be super duper hardcore workouts. Simple stretches, just a walk around the block with the kids, go play with the dog for 10 minutes, whatever it is. Just small amounts of movement throughout the day, because our bodies were not made to sit at a desk all day long. So if you do have a desk job, get up, move around, stretch, have a private dance party, whatever it is that you like to do, just move your body. So that's a free one. Cut down on screen and Wi-Fi time. That's absolutely free. Do something else. Play with your kids, read a book, take a nap, do whatever you like to do. Play a board game. That will work wonders to increase your energy too. I think that's one of the most, I don't know, energy sapping things for me is just being in front of a screen for hours at a time.
Definitely.
Sleep. Most of us don't value sleep enough. We feel like if we are not busy doing something, we're being lazy. So if we're sleeping, we're being lazy. But that is so not the case. Be willing to give yourself a full 8 hours of sleep if you possibly can. Put yourself to bed just like you put the kids to bed. You know, have a little routine that signals your body it's time to wind down, go to bed, dim the lights, do some gratitude journaling or something, do some more breathing. just help yourself wind down, and that can make a huge difference as well. And they're, again, absolutely free to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, healthy relationships. That's another big one. Financial stress and relationship stress, I think, are two of the top two stressors in our lives, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, you know, just taking the time to invest in whatever relationships it is that you have, whether it's with your spouse, with your children, friends, co-workers, take the time to actually make those relationships right if you can. Yeah, so then cultivate things you love to do. A really simple thing you can do is just like make a joy list of 5 or 10 things that bring you joy. And they can be simple. It can just be like your favorite pair of fuzzy socks, or a cup of hot tea, or standing out in the sunshine, whatever it is. But be intentional and do one of those things every day, because that will change your whole mindset and change your mood. And there again, that's a great stress releaser, and just helps your health be better in general.
Yeah.
So that ties in with the next one, focus on gratitude. And then if you are like, oh, I want to do these things, but I have a hard time staying on track, then find an accountability buddy. Just call somebody up and say, hey, I want some accountability. Will you do this with me? Let's partner up and just hold each other to whatever it is you've decided to work on. So that won't cost you a penny. And you'll get in the relationship bit there too, because you'll be making contact with somebody. So
Multifaceted. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Okay. So how about some affordable ways?
okay, so sometimes we need to step it up a notch beyond the free things. So really affordable ways, grow a garden if you enjoy gardening. You can do vegetables, you can do herbs, it can be container gardening, or it can be a big garden, but that's a great way to invest in your health and also save money. If you're growing your own food, that's less that you have to buy at the grocery store. And there's nothing better for your body than homegrown, freshly picked food. So that's an easy way to invest. You can gradually start to add in maybe some local or organic food options. And I know it can be daunting. You're like, organic food is so expensive, or like local meat is $6 a pound, whatever it is. But you can just kind of prioritize and choose one thing at a time. And a great resource is a list called the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen from EWG. And they kind of prioritize the foods that are most important to get organic or clean. And so you can use that to kind of sort out which things you should start with and which things aren't a big deal. And that's a way to kind of clean up the way you're eating too. So that's pretty simple and easy. Another one could be to invest in a good water filter, especially if you live in town.
Yep.
Lord knows what is in municipal water supplies.
Oh man.
So if we're going to be drinking that water, see if you can get a good water filter so it's good, clean water that's not full of strange chemicals, like chlorine and residues from who knows what. And you can get whole house systems, or you can start small and just get a pitcher that sits on your counter. That's what I have, is just an Aquasana pitcher. It's a really good filter, but it wasn't crazy expensive. So that's a fairly low level thing you can invest in. Just switching over to more non-toxic cleaners and personal care products. Those are small little ways that you can invest. They might cost a little bit more, but not significantly so, and that's fairly affordable. So just be mindful of what you're putting on your body. We use so many personal care products, lotion and toothpaste and shampoo and conditioner and face creams, and the list goes on and on. Probably longer for women than for men, but look for a lot of times locally made options are really clean. So you can look for those like at farmers markets, or sometimes local shops in your area will carry those kind of things. So those are great ways to invest in your health, and you're usually supporting a small local business in the process. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
We're so blessed here in Billings to have so many options here in our area, and not just Billings, but the surrounding areas as well. Like we have a lot of options for personal care and that kind of thing. And we know a lot of them personally, and it does make a huge difference for that support. So yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're someone who needs company to motivate you to move your body, you could get a gym membership, or I know in the last year there have been several people who have started like online
Yep.
Memberships or whatever for fitness classes, since gyms were shut down at least part of the year. And most of those are not crazy expensive, and you could probably do the math and figure out, you know what, if I dropped a few lattes a month, I could afford the membership or whatever and keep myself motivated to move. So sometimes there's just those little give and take things, and you can do the math and figure out, you know what, I actually can't afford to do this for myself, and it's not going to put me way over budget.
Yeah, or you can have Sharon do your budget and we'll figure out a way.
There you go. There you go. We will find the money, right?
We will find a way. If that's important to you, we will find a way.
That's right. So then if you're feeling like you have maybe a bigger issue going on, and maybe you need to take some supplements or something, and it can be worth going to a practitioner to make sure you find the right things. So often you see people who they'll read an article or hear from a friend that, oh, I take blah, blah, blah supplement. And they think, oh, I need to take that. So pretty soon they're like on, I don't know, 10 or 15 supplements because they read they're all good, but they don't really know why they're taking them. So if you're going to take vitamins or supplements, whatever, just be really careful that you're doing it for a good reason. Make sure you know that you actually need it. And just make sure you're spending money on something that's high quality and not just flushing money down the toilet by buying cheap junk that your body isn't able to use. So just be intentional and targeted, and try not to overdo it. And find somebody who can kind of guide you through that process if you need to. Other things can be just regular chiropractic adjustments or massages or different things like that. That can do a lot to just keep you feeling better in general. And chiropractic adjustments generally are not that crazy expensive unless you have some, major thing going on and have to go in constantly. But just having your body in alignment and feeling strong and healthy can make a huge difference. And it's worth it sometimes. It's kind of like taking care of your car, change the oil, the filters, keep things running smoothly. So just figure out what things keep you running smoothly, and don't be afraid to invest in those. Because it will help in the long run. So, and then the last one, I admit I put this in because I'm biased. I am a health coach. You can work with
what the heck you're doing
on your health concern. So doctors are great. They have their place. But if you're in a little bit more of a space where you're wanting to be proactive, health coaches can be a great resource to get you on track and keep you on track. They can provide the accountability you need, and they can help sort out all of the confusion that's running around out there for sure. So they can be worth the investment. I know, like, for my family, we usually go to a naturopath or alternative doctors like that and have to pay out of pocket. And knowing how much that is for one time with them and comparing it to the price of working with a health coach, it's actually kind of a screaming deal. So, that's another thing to consider. And also there are lots of health coaches that focus on specific things. So like for me, it's hypothyroid mamas, but there are coaches who focus on chronic pain or weight loss or diabetes or Crohn's disease. So you can almost be guaranteed to find somebody who focuses on your specific problem. So that's another option out there for investing in your health.
Like it. Okay. Those are awesome. I love it. So we're talking about.
So here's the fun part.
Yes. How does it pay? Oh man. So
right.
Talk about this one.
Yeah, go ahead. You can take off.
Oh no, I just have a story that kind of goes with this. So Before I started my health journey, I was so a lot of like how I ate and thought about like my food um, was really not positive at all. And then somebody told me about this other program, and I looked at the price, and I was like, it's so expensive. I can't keep doing that. But then, whenever you look overall, um, it's just a matter of like making a choice for yourself. We make choices based on what's important to us. And it was important for me to feel better about my body. It was important for me to have more energy and to not have the self loathing. Um, and so, even though I spent a good amount of money on this program that I did, it was worth it for me in the long run. Um, because not only did it get me off my blood pressure medication, so I'm saving money and not going to the doctor as often. Um, it was making me happier and less of a grouch and less of the person that I didn't want to be. So it literally was saving me money, even though it seemed like this astronomical amount, but it made me a better person. So that's what we want for all of you. So yes, we're talking about our attitude of, this always dragging, or you can have abundant energy. You can buy more clothes, or we can get you back in those skinny jeans that you still have in the back of your closet because you swear that you're going to fit into them later. Because, I have that pair of jeans in the back of my closet too. And I'm like, I'm going to get there someday. I really like them. I want to wear them again. And then, for my kids and Bethel, you as well have younger kids, like they're a lot of work. And they're exhausting, but having the energy and stamina to keep up with them and to take them on fun adventures is amazing. What else, Bethel? You want to take over there?
Right. So, like I mentioned earlier, yeah, getting out of that space of irritability or anxiety all the time. I remember very clearly before I kind of sorted out all of my health issues, there was a point where I was very crabby all the time. And my oldest daughter, who at the time was about 6, she finally turned and looked at me. She was like, "Mom, what is your problem? You are being so crabby." I was like, oh my goodness. My 6-year-old had to call me out, and she was right. I mean, I was being a bear.
Ouch.
And that's like the moment of, I so do not like myself. I do not like the way I am being right now.
Yeah.
So that's definitely motivation to be like, I can't do this. This isn't good for my relationship with my kids. It's not good for my relationship with my husband. It's just not a healthy place to be. So being able to break free from that and get to the point where 95% of the time I am happy and stable and a pleasant person to be around.
I think you're delightful.
It's always easier to be nice to people outside your home than people inside your home because you have to be.
Right.
But yeah, like that's kind of priceless, is to save your relationships because you're not an irritable, moody bear all the time. Like that's worth more than any monetary value, really.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yes, that's priceless.
Yeah. So being free of pain. I mean, I don't know how many people we all know who are like, I'd like to go do that activity, but it hurts too much, so I'm not going to go. Or like, oh, I creak and groan and whatever as I get out of bed in the morning. Or, why should we live a life of pain? We don't have to. We can have freedom of movement and go do all the things we love to do. And then like we can be free from chronic headaches and brain fog. We can think clearly again, and feel like we're really sharp and on top of it. So yeah, that again is pretty priceless, being able to think clearly and be your best self, as opposed to feeling like you're just always in this fog of pain and confusion. So that's pretty priceless in my book.
Absolutely. It's kind of like whenever you are sick and then you start to feel better and you're like, wow, I didn't know I was that sick. Like,
Right.
or you hurt and then that pain starts to go away and you're like, this is what it's like to live without pain? What?
Right.
You know? So you don't know how bad it is until you figure out there's something else. And
Right.
it can happen. You can, you don't have to stay there. So
Absolutely.
awesome. Sweet. Okay. So ready for this? Okay. We are going to challenge you. Start today. No more excuses. It's kind of like our finances. Okay. So I'm going to talk real here. We're going to talk real. Do you really want to feel better? Do you really want to have financial freedom? If you do, and you need an accountability partner to help you push through it, we're here for you. If you don't, then and you just haven't gotten to that place, have a talk with yourself, right? Have a real sit down, and think about, your future. Think about how you want to be as a grandparent. Do you want to be down on the floor and playing with your littles and being the pony and all of that with your grandkids? You can do it. You need to start now and you need to stop with the excuses. All right. Do you want to retire and have that mountain home and all the grandkids come to you for Christmas and you have a wonderful, beautiful time together? Start now to invest in that part of your journey. No more excuses. If you want to make this choice, you can do it, and we can help you with that. Because we want people to have freedom, not only in their health and their body, but also their finances. And these are ways that you can do that, right, Bethel?
Absolutely. The two go hand in hand. They're always connected, those two parts of life. So I am always more than happy to chat with you about that. If you ever want to schedule a time to visit with me, you can just go to my website there, bwhealthcoaching.com, and there's always just like a free initial consultation. We can just visit about where your health is at now and where you would like to go, and I'm always more than happy to do that. And then I also, on my website, just have a really wonderful free resource. It's called the Revive Your Thyroid Starter Kit, packed really full of wonderful tools and resources for people. And it's useful even if you don't think you have a thyroid issue. It just has this fun little diagnostic quiz to kind of see where you're at. And then a bunch of, I believe it's 8 tips, and then really great resources like some recipes and different things like that. So if you're interested, just go to my site and you can nab that for free. And I would love for you to have that.
Wonderful. Awesome. And I am always available via Facebook, or my email is listed right here, faithfinanceandhealth@gmail.com. And I love to, anybody that watches this and has gotten through it and is at this point, I would love to offer you as my gift this personal financial inventory book. So it's a pretty hefty book, but it's basically, if something were to happen to you, if you were to die or get injured seriously, this is your wishes for your finances. All right. So this is also important documents. Talks about power of attorney. It talks about your, it's got places for your life insurance information, your physician contact list, your retirement account information, your vehicle information. It's also got a place for your credit cards and your just different passwords. So I send this out to my clients, and they, print it out, fill it out, either keep it in a digital copy on a hard drive in a safe place. I recommend a safe, an actual safe, or print it out, fill it all in, and then put that someplace safe. Again, I recommend a safe. But it's just your inventory, right? That if something were to happen to you, people can just like take this and be like, okay, this is all her information. This is what we need to do. It's got, everything in it that if somebody needed to take over your affairs, they could. So it's just a really amazing, useful resource, and it's completely free. And I'd like to give that as a gift. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So I don't have any. I think this has been really amazing. Bethel and I have had a great time collaborating this. So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, and I just think it really, like you said before, our finances and our health really, they are two peas in a pod, right? They are just right there
Yep.
together. So we're here for you in any way that we can. So awesome.
All right. Well,
Great. I'm going to stop sharing
any
this.
questions or anything anyone has, you can contact us, and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I will hop off here. I'm going to stop recording, and then we'll get